The Odyssey vocabulary. Kingfisher epics.
Okay, so we're going to divide the vocab up by chapters, and the first chapter of the story is called Shipwreck. Yeah, you can tell something terrible might happen. So brandish is a verb, which means to shake or wave. So if you were going to shake or wave something, it might be, for example, a weapon. In movies, you might see somebody brandishing a sword or a gun. Or if you're super excited about getting your homework done, you might walk into the classroom brandishing your paper in the air, exclaiming, "I got it done!"
Finally, 1 out of 10. Alright, coppice is a dense growth of small trees or bushes. If you look behind a building going up the hill, that's kind of like a coppice. It's just a small growth of trees and bushes. Animals can hide in there. It is a coppice.
Okay, so the next chapter is called Nausicaa, and the first vocab word for this chapter is sumptuous, which is an adjective. So it describes something that is luxuriously splendid or large. So think about a mansion that is high class and expensive.
Not my house at the bottom.
Not mine either, for sure.
Alright, the next one is ravenous. It is an adjective. It is extremely hungry. That's me about this 4th, 5th hour every day. I start to become ravenous because I eat really early in the morning.
Like a vampire who wants to suck your blood. Okay, the unexpected guest. So this word, I always pronounce it leer, but correctly it's pronounced lyre. It's a noun, and it's a musical instrument that's used to accompany singing and storytelling in ancient Greece. It's not as popular anymore. It kind of reminds me of a cross between a harp and a guitar, I guess. But they would do their do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, whatever the tune was, and then tell the story.
So you can be that kid that brings a guitar to a party or something. This is what they use. This is like the old school version of that. You bring your lyre and jam out. Alright, a forge is a special fireplace in which metal is heated before shaping. Usually it's got some like air forced into it to get the fire really hot, so you can make like weapons and armor and cool stuff like that.
Like the Iron Man when he forges his, what is that called? Suit of iron. Okay. And then you have vigor, which is a noun. It's one of those nouns that you know it exists, but you can't hold it in your hands. But you have it in your body because it's energetic activity. So if you're full of vigor, that means maybe you need to go outside and run around or play a sport or do something that releases some of your energy.
Alright, this is
Demodocus.
Demodocus. I was going to pronounce it something wrong. But he sings of the wooden horse. So this is a bard. Hopefully you remember what that means.
He might be playing
a wooden horse.
Yeah, maybe while he's playing the lyre.
Alright, so the first one, we got a picture of it. It is a siege, the act of surrounding a place to isolate it from help and supplies.
Help, I'm under siege!
And there's a picture of it. Alright, stupor. This is probably what you guys are in at the moment. With daze or unconsciousness, just staring at the screen.
I hope that they're not. I hope that they're full of vigor for our lesson.
And you should be paying attention because we're giving you vocab.
I'm under siege! Okay, then we have barrage, which is a noun, and it's an overwhelming amount or a bombardment. So you guys might at times feel like you have a barrage of homework, and that might be because you do, or that might be because you are prone to hyperbolizing.
Alright, the Cyclops. And that is like the Cyclops over there going, "Hi."
That's like the Cookie Monster Cyclops.
He's not a very vicious Cyclops that's going to eat people. But we're talking about the Cyclops now. So our first word is exultant or triumphant. If you are a Cardinals fan, which I am not, sometimes you guys are a little more exultant than Cubs fans.
Poor Mr. Childs. Okay, so pillage is a verb that means to rob with violence. So if a gas station or a bank is pillaged, it means that people go in with masks and guns and they take stuff and they hurt people if necessary to get what they want. So pillaging is not the same as villaging.
Because villaging happens all the time. All right, complacent. Pleased or without awareness of future danger. This is one of those dangerous things, like you're in the woods, you're all like, oh, it's so nice, and then a bear kills you. That would be being complacent.
Or being pleased with your current grade of an F, thinking, oh, I'll pull it up eventually, and you are totally unaware that if you continue down the same path of not turning in homework and not studying, then you will fail, which would be sad and miserable. And the opposite of complacency is foreboding, which is an adjective. It is a strong inner feeling of some evil to come. So if you have a foreboding feeling, you're like a character in a scary movie who knows that somebody is following you, and you have a really bad feeling about it. Or you're like that student sitting in class knowing that you didn't study for a test while the teacher is passing it out, and you're thinking, oh no, I have a bad feeling I'm going to fail this and be grounded, and my cell phone's going to be taken away, and my life is going to be over.
Sometimes when you have that foreboding feeling when they're passing out the test, you may become despondent or hopeless in gloom because you're like, oh man. So I've been there, trust me. So despondent, hopelessness, or gloom.
And then Colossus kind of reminds me of how everyone nowadays assumes that a couple papers with a staple in it is a packet. Automatically, things are just ginormous projects if they have a staple in them, which I think is a little bit silly. But Colossus is a noun for something that is gigantic. So I would not consider 2 pages with a staple to be Colossus, but you could say maybe like a huge monster. Or like Colossus. A big mountain.
Or a massive Ferris wheel in St. Louis.
What's the one in Sandlot? The Colossus of Clout. Talking about the Great Bambino. Yeah.
Epithets, what?
Uh-huh.
Alright, so here's an allusion to the Odyssey, which we're going to cover. And it says, I want to make my name on Facebook nobody. So when I see someone post something stupid, I can like it, and it'll say, nobody liked this.
That'll be really funny later after you actually read the story. Okay, Circe, this chapter, first vocab word is trepidation. And that is a noun meaning fear or alarm. So you might be full of trepidation if you cheated on a test and you know that your teacher is going to call your parents and then you're going to be in deep doo-doo.
Or when you know you did something stupid and that blue pass comes in and you're just like, is it me? Is it me? Mm-hmm. That's a little bit of trepidation there. Mm-hmm. All right, vigilance, a state of being alert to detect danger. So it's like just always being aware. It's a good thing, actually. I like it.
You want to be full of vigilance.
Hyper-vigilant. It's good to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sinuous is an adjective that describes something that is windy or bendy. And so the picture here is of a road that's going through the mountains, and the road is very sinuous. It's winding and bendy.
This is a scenic, sinuous route.
Very scenic. Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's also stupefying.
Stupefying. It is overwhelmingly amazing or dumbfounding.
Oh, I'm in awe of its beauty.
And then you fall off the cliff. Don't do that.
No, that's bad.
Okay.
You're not full of vigilance if you do that.
True that. Overwhelmingly amazing or dumbfounding is stupefying.
I implore you to be careful when you get your driving permits, please. So imploringly is an adverb that means urgently or insistently. If you are imploring someone to do something, or if you're imploringly encouraging them to do something, you're like, look, man, this is really important. Don't mess it up.
We are imploringly asking you to focus on your notes.
Yeah, study.
Get stuff done.
Learn it. Okay, Odysseus and the goats.
Ghost. Ghost, not goats. He does eat a lot of goats, but we're talking about ghost here.
That's a malaprop. Do you think they remember that
They
from?
do not remember Malaprop.
Remember, funny misuse of a word sounds like another one. Ghosts, goats, haha. Anyway, I didn't do it on purpose. Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw this on television or not when they broadcasted the guy who walked across the Grand Canyon on a tightrope.
He fell off. Now he's a ghost.
He actually didn't fall off. No, it was really windy. It was super impressive. So what he did was very perilous because it was dangerous. So perilous is a really good synonym for the word dangerous.
All right, and din, which is a loud noise. That would be a din. Another one could be, I'm pretty sure while he's walking across this tightrope, any whisper or breeze would sound like a din or a loud noise.
And a din is usually really annoying.
Yes, it is.
We probably should have warned them to turn their volume down. Alright, I'm going to say this one because, well, I'll say it and then Mr. Charles will say it and you guys can decide who's right. No, you gotta say it the way you used to. Okay, Scylla and Charybdis.
Even though it looks like Scylla and Charybdis.
I thought you used to say Scylla.
I've got them down. No, I know how to say them.
Okay, so these Greek names are messed up. Turbulent is an adjective that means raging, and it is usually used in reference to the weather. So if you're having some turbulence, it's not a good time to fly in a plane.
Bad time on that one. Fate, fortune, and unavoidable future.
So sometimes, regardless of however much you try to save yourself, if you fight against it, but you still believe that there's like an ultimate way that your life is going to end up, that is your fate, it's your destiny, it's your fortune. Moving on.
Is the shirt order in yet?
Sure is. Such an awesome day. I'm so pleased with the way my life is going and like